This episode of the only podcast about movies was recorded a little differently. Shahir, do you want to tell the people what you did?
I did a bad thing. I'm so sorry about this. We talked about on this episode, as you will hear, that we were going to record this episode with video so that you could watch it on YouTube. And there were lots of great bits, but unfortunately, someone forgot to press record on Zoom.
Who forgot?
And that was me. And I only realized this halfway through. So although we have been doing this podcast for 10 years, I am still an amateur and I apologize sincerely, but you should continue to listen to the episode because it's full of great stuff. And if you could just imagine all that visual stuff that's going on, use your imagination.
We will attempt this again the next time we have a guest. And until then, enjoy the show.
Sorry, everyone.
Is up, internet? Now we're playing football. My name is Matthew Kroll.
And we groomed you. My name is Shahir Dowd.
And it's football family god, Gerard Milligan.
This is the only podcast about movies, specifically the film Him.
It's him.
Right.
I'm him. Wait, Gerard, when you just did that, was it football, family, god, Gerard Milligan? Is that the sequence that was kind of laid out?
That was the order.
Okay,
you know
got
what I mean? Because you can't put yourself first. You can't put yourself first.
I think you just did.
No, I put football.
No. It's
in descending order. Got it.
It's not a tier list.
Come on, Shahir.
Gerard, welcome back, buddy. It's been a hot minute.
Man, it's been pre-COVID.
Yeah, what was the... I feel like the last thing we did was a Batman movie. Was it a Batman?
Yeah.
Was it Batman?
No. It wasn't. I wish you guys had somebody else on there, and I listened, and I disagreed. But it was Justice League. No?
Oh, probably for Zack's the
It might have been
Snyder
Zack.
cut of it.
So it might have been 2021 then. Might have been 2021.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. How have you
still in
been,
the
buddy?
thick of it.
You've moved out to LA. You've got
say
new
that.
earrings. You've got new tattoos. You got new locks. Like, there's been a glow up. There's been a move. Tell me what's happening.
I miss New York so much. All right, so I'm trying to come back. But no, been out in LA since COVID. The hair has gotten longer, which Hollywood has let me know I need to cut immediately. But the rebel in me, aggressively. Like it would be. It has been brought to my attention so many times that black men with long hair do not lead movies or TV shows. It has been pointed out to me to count them.
But then you would be the only one. But also, I feel like Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he had the kind of the mid-length locks in Black Panther 1, right?
So he had the Killmongers in Black Panther 1. He was a bad guy. He also was Michael B. Jordan. No one else has had it. No one else is like literally every now and then, if it's like a side black character on like a fantasy film in space or something, or like then he may have like locks, but that's an if. But that is an if.
There's a children's author my son just did a project on who wrote some Miles Morales, and I'm trying to bring his name up right now. Jason Reynolds, who's got the locks as well. So we just did a big project about Jason Reynolds, and he's got the locks as well.
This is my thing. Black men in real life have locks. It's just like we just don't have them on TV.
Ryan Coogler's first movie, his first short film, was about the locks.
Yes, he has long hair. The thing is I refuse to cut it because I feel like the moment I do is then someone's finally gonna be like, "Hey, what the hell is this? Hey, put these brothers in there." And because again, if Steven Soderbergh came and was like, Gerard, I have this period piece set in like 1985. I need you to get a hot top fade. Of course, I will cut my hair and get a hot top fade. But we ain't there yet, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't there.
You know what's funny is my hair has grown out and nobody cares. Like nobody is telling me to cut this. It is, and not because they want it to be this way. They just like don't give a shit.
It is aggressive.
This is convenient because if everything works out, dear listeners, if you actually aren't on YouTube and you're listening to this through the regular podcast thing or Spotify or anything, we're trying a little experiment. Now, if the YouTube version that you're watching, it might actually be our beautiful faces and the beautiful hair of the two men who are co-hosting this episode.
It's like a Pantene commercial here.
Yeah, let them know.
It really is.
Let them know.
This is the
super fresh.
This is the first time, I think, for that an entire one of our podcasts, if it's working, again, you'll know if you see my face while I'm talking as well, that you're going to actually be able to see us recording.
I look like a cool auntie.
I buy it.
If
it.
everyone's into that, if everyone's into that, why not do the thing? Go head over to YouTube. You know what? I've been requesting a lot, Jarrah, because we just started bringing all of our back catalog over to YouTube, and like we put stuff up there because it's the world's largest world's largest podcasting platform. And it's my day job, so I figured it's about time. But now the thing I'm asking Topam Fam for all y'all to do is go to probably on this episode and just leave a comment. It actually doesn't even matter what the comment is.
True.
Just leave a comment because that will help us crack the tiniest of tiny as we get a footing in there. But yeah, hi, hello, welcome to seeing us.
What up?
Maybe.
Jarrah, you've had a few things come out recently. You had a short film that dropped on YouTube today, Mahogany Drive. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh, here, thank you. I'm sorry I can do this on camera. Put my hair behind my ears. I've always wanted to do that because I had a teacher in high school who was bald or almost bald, and he would constantly like put his fake hair behind his ears. No, so Mahogany Drive did drop on YouTube. It's a horror comedy about, honestly, 3 black dudes who wake up in an Airbnb that kills white women. It just is a bunch of white women, and they're like, I don't understand what's happening. It does have a very moral ending that I think people have gone to like. You know, we made it in a bunch of festivals. I am now working on the next short film.
Okay.
Which is a true horror comedy. Like, it will be scary, but yet still funny. It's about why you don't touch a black woman's hair without consent. Because if you do, an entity will hunt you down and kill you. And our entity is like...
It's usually the person attached to the hair.
Yep. And like our entity, which is very funny, is Aunt Jemima. So basically it's like... it's like It Follows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a Sam Raimi and Tim Burton film.
I love it.
There we go. You know?
Hell yeah, man.
There we go.
Good deal.
And then you're going to be in New York soon promoting a live show as well. Doing a live show. Tell us about the live show.
Everyone.
I follow.
You get your ticket? Did you get your ticket?
I did not get my ticket.
Wow. Wow.
We'll get them.
I follow from the outside.
Show me a screenshot. I want screenshots from both of y'all of the receipt. Okay.
Done.
This show is a solo show called But Did You Die? It is about, like, honestly, a very near-death experience that happened when I was still living in New York in 2016. It is a story that is very personal that I am trying to make a very sensitive topic funny. It is going to be Sunday, November 9th at 7 p.m. at the UCB Theater in New York. You can see there's tickets on the UCB comedy website. If you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, it's in my bio. Again, it's called But Did You Die? Also, if you go to the New York Comedy Festival, it's up on their website as well. So there's plenty of ways to get tickets. But Did You Die? November 9th at 7 p.m.
I heard it here first.
Right.
He'll be shaving his locks for charity at the event.
That's true. Yeah.
Listen,
live
I thought about it. Honestly, at one point, I thought about having my hair shaved during the show, but I was like, if I get this show filmed, won't be able to cut around that.
You can't.
I've done it once for a short film that I did in college where I shaved my head on camera. And there is this like moment of nerve-wrackingness, like, we got to get this in one, because if we screw this up, the first half of the movie's done. And we can't do, like, there's no going back on this.
The only on-camera shaving or of hair that I've done is for a Henson razor thing, which is very low stakes at that point. It's just literally like a regular shave. It's not like the top of my head.
Listen, if these come off, and who knows, I got a big birthday coming up. They might come off for the big birthday.
There we go.
Is it the 4-0 or is it the 3-0? I forget how old you are.
Oh my God, stop it. Did you just say the 3-0? Stop. No, it's the big It's the big 4.
I don't remember.
It's the big 4, baby.
I don't know why I'm lavishing you with such praise, by the way. I don't know where this is coming
him
from.
up a lot.
Also, what's so funny is Shahir is never this nice to me.
No, I'm
Wait,
never
hold
this
on.
nice.
He is literally the exact opposite of every interaction.
Perhaps is this actually Shahir?
No,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
Is this an otherworldly entity that is trying to lure you, Jarrah,
Honestly?
into some sort of trap?
Really, what I'm trying to say is I'm not him.
Honestly,
Oh no.
hey,
Shahir
Crow,
is him.
it's working. It's working on me. You know, listen, you give me a compliment, I'm like, go ahead, you better stop. And
Well,
I'm-
okay,
I'm-
one
I followed
final
it.
then, which is that Black Man Can't Jump in Hollywood is still running. You guys actually have an episode on him coming out this week, right?
Yes, so we do. I left all my honesty for you guys.
Whoa.
Listen, I know you guys probably feel the same way with your movie podcast. Is that when you review movie podcasts and you are still in the business of creating, you run into sometimes you run into the people who movies you review.
Oh my God.
And
So-
sometimes you don't like the
Let
movies
me
they
just say
made.
this happened to me this week. I was in LA and I was at an office. I won't say who, but I ended up inside a production meeting with an actress whose movies we have reviewed on this podcast. And I was like, and there was just this awkward moment when she looked over to me and I was like, I know I shouldn't be here. I'm not sure why I'm here, but I feel like if I move now, I will draw attention to myself. So I'm just going to be like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park and just sit quietly and pretend I'm not here.
Her vision's based on movement.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
listen, and also I think now what I'm learning is that it is really hard to make. It's really hard to get a movie made because
of
Lord
course.
knows we've been trying. But I will say, you make stuff to be critiqued, and so I've made stuff that people have utterly hated. So I feel like we should be able to be kind.
Well, we always say we try to acknowledge the fact that making any movie is incredibly difficult. And as we are about to start talking about Justin Tipton's new film, Him, we will keep that in mind inevitably as we go down this road, if that gives you any indication of what
I do not promise to do that. I'm a guest.
Whoa, that is true. You can do whatever you'd like.
Yeah.
I could
was
come
gonna-
in here and burn it down.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we have not been a guest on Black Man Can't Jump in Hollywood at this point yet. You've appeared on
Wait,
our
is that
show
real?
several yeah, I think that is. Matt, have you been on that show?
What if I had and I didn't tell you? No, I didn't.
Wait a minute, it's just me.
It's just you.
I'm like that.
I've been
sorry.
on 9 times.
I'm sorry, that would be so funny. You know what, guys? I will talk to the guys. We will handle this.
We will handle this.
I will talk to management and we will get this squared away. Who knows? I mean, I think one of the best movies probably to do would be like we need a white movie and a person of color movie. I don't know.
Look, just wait for a Dev Patel movie to come out. I'm your guy. Whatever Dev Patel's doing, I'll be there.
What's so funny is like I try to get a guest for his feature, being
Monkey
like,
Man?
hey man, you imagine, hey Shahir, you trying to get on this Monkey Man podcast? Like that's
Me or Akash, right? Like at this point. Yeah.
It's like, and I can't have Akash. Akash, I love you, bro. Akash too messy now. Akash is a messy man. I can't do it.
That podcast has certainly it's got its politics now. Anyway,
Anyway,
we are here to talk about Him. Matt, could you tell us who Him is?
oh, I absolutely can tell you what the Internet Movie Database says Him is. Him is, quote, a young athlete descends into a world of terror when he's invited to train with a legendary champion whose charisma curdles into something darker.
Oh, I actually, look, I don't often make a thing about
You
the
don't?
IMDb synopsis.
It's not Shahir. Gerard, this is not Shahir.
No,
I don't
you're
make it
way
exciting.
friendly.
But the vernacular there was whose charisma curdles. And I like,
Yeah.
ooh, I like
a lot of
that.
alliteration.
Yeah,
Wait, first
I
of all-
actually like that.
Wait, what year did I meet Shahir?
2010 or something like that.
Shit, it might be him, Crow. It might be him.
Why?
It might be him. Only Shahir would know the answer to that question.
You were quizzing
fair,
him.
Trying to
I
test
see.
him. Trying to test him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What nickname did we used to call the little one?
Oh, the little dude? I have a lot of nicknames for the little dudes. Monkey Man is one of them, by the way.
That is true. I've heard that. I feel like back in the day he used to be called the kid. So only
The
Shahir
kid,
was-
yeah. He's still called the kid. Every now and
Only
again.
the kid. Only Shahir would know that the kid was called the kid.
Yeah, only
we-
Shahir
we-
would know.
We have some very funny stories about the kid in Gerard that we will share perhaps off air at some point.
There's a sitcom. I think it would be Gerard and the Kid.
Gerard.
Like, I
Honestly?
think that Yeah.
Bro, bring Uncle Buck back. Let me be Uncle Buck.
Yo, we are off topic before even getting on topic.
That's how we feel about the movie.
Back out.
That's how we feel about the movie. That's how you know.
Here we go. Here we go. Him is about, well, okay. It was instantly had a lot of hurdles to jump for me because I am not a football guy. I know. Shocker. The dude with the Super Famicom hat is not really into throwing the pigskin around. That doesn't matter. Like, there's lots of great football accoutrement in cinema. And this looked really, really promising to me because I kind of felt like, what if Substance but football?
Interesting.
And I was like, I was really on board for it. I'll give my sort of first thoughts very quickly. The way that this movie like comes out the gate and is presented to you promises a lot of things and does so in a way that actually is very enjoyable and impressive to watch. I was brought into the world very quickly, and due to the cinematography, the effects work, especially specifically on like certain hits and the way that they showed acts of violence, sort of with the Mortal Kombat zoom in on the skeletal structures and skulls and organs and things. I was really, really here for that. But as the movie moves on, also side note, the performances actually, I think, are quite excellent in it. But it does start feeling like a lot of just more of the same and, like continually. And by the end of it, and we'll get to there in spoilers, I didn't feel like, other than a few surface level things I could glean, that like it didn't really, it felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. And when not that like there was like 3 or 4 different types of things it could do, and they all would have been interesting if they picked a lane, and it felt like they didn't pick a lane and they tried to do like all the lanes, and then I was like, well, I don't even care anymore. And then that sort of tanked it for me by the end. Again, while I was sitting there, I was having an okay time. I wasn't like, oh, geez, get this thing over with. Like, the visuals kept me enough, but like, I found my level of caring plummet after like the first act, I think is where I was at. Do you want, Shreer, you want to go, and then we'll let Gerard take us home with final thoughts?
It's interesting that you mentioned the substance because this was an interesting example of all style and no substance.
Wow.
Yeah. But I want to like come out with just a couple of things that I do like. In a way, the stylistic choices that Tipping uses here are kind of aesthetically aligned with like modern commercial filmmaking. So I was kind of like, oh, this really does feel like a commercial director's sort of wet dream for a movie. In so much as that the first person I actually messaged was our mutual friend Stephen Roberts, who we all know works in this space, and I was really curious to get his take on it and see what he thought of it, because he also has pretty good taste in movies as well. But I think the thing about it was that it really felt like an extended commercial, and in a way, I think I read it best like maybe there's an excellent 10-minute short film in here, and that's about it.
It's a BMW film.
It's a BMW film, something along those lines.
It is it's a fragrance commercial because it's soft.
It's a fragrance commercial. It's something like that.
Exactly a fragrance commercial coloring and
yeah. And like 10 minutes of that, you would have been like, wow, this is the greatest fragrance commercial ever made. You know, like the actual stylings of it are really cool. And Matt, like you sort of mentioned, the infrared camera kind of approach to how hits are done is actually a really, really cool idea. It is sort of at the mercy of Much Ado About Nothing. It is unfortunate that we are kind of in a sort of space where what I'm calling the secret society film is kind of getting to a point where it's feeling a little played out. You know, the starting point here is obviously, or, you know, there are many starting points, but Rosemary's Baby going further back and The Wicker Man, but you know, Jordan Peele's Get Out is really one of the sort of key factors in recent takes on the sort of modern secret society movie, followed by Midsommar. And I saw Opus at the Sundance Film Festival, which we haven't reviewed on this podcast because unfortunately it was like very much a film that feels derivative of many things that have come before it at this point. And while I think this was slightly more interesting in that its aesthetic goals were kind of more pronounced and visually interesting, I did find that the film was kind of, as I say, Much Ado About Nothing. It is really, it really gets to an ending point where you're sort of going, you sort of wonder how could the sort of the most damning thing about this movie is that it has zero impact whatsoever. Unfortunately, as a story about like the sort of the punishment, the physical punishment of what the football industry does to people, and then the sort of like catharsis of taking it back, and the final moment, sort of like sort of middle finger to the oppressive powers that be within the football community, don't have any weight whatsoever, and feel like just a sort of lip service to that idea. Sort of any sort of notions about this movie being anything more than performative about like the way the body is punished, sort of as you mentioned, the movie Substance. Even the sort of interesting thing here is that Marlon Wayans really comes out of this the winner of the movie for me. I watch it and go, wow, Marlon Wayans is fantastic, and he's so good, and it's a real shame that we're spending all of his capital here in this movie, if only for the fact that like maybe it'll remind people that he is such a great dramatic actor as well. You know, like thinking about this and Requiem for a Dream as
Never
sort of
watching
two
that movie
counterpoints.
again.
Yeah, two counterpoints of like how good he is at inhabiting physically, challenging roles. Even though the fact he spent better part of the last 20 years doing, scary movies and parody movies and things like that. There's just it is really unfortunate. I think the movie kind of gets buried under the weight of its own hollowness, I guess, is the way I would describe it. There is not a lot here to really dive into. I think we can sort of try to extrapolate how stylistically the movie tries to attack some of its ideas, but it'll be kind of like popping a balloon at some point. There's not going to be much beyond that. So it is unfortunate. I do like the visual stylings. In many ways, it reminded me a little bit of Tarsim's film, The Cell, if anyone remembers that.
Oh, I love
with
The
Jennifer
Cell.
Lopez and
Jennifer Lopez. A supremely beautiful movie.
Arrow just did a re-release. Arrow did a
Disagree.
4K re-release of it that I need to pick up.
But
Visually
that is a movie that is
stunning, but-
extraordinarily beautiful. Not too much going on, but some interesting ideas, and you just sort of watch it and go, well, I'm curious what this person does next. So it kind of played in that feel for me.
All right, Gerard.
I would like to say
Honesty time.
Honesty. I would like to say that Jordan Peele can do no wrong. So Mr. Peele, let me look in because it's recorded. Let me look into
Of course, look dead in the barrel.
Look into the camera. Mr. Jordan Peele and Monkey Paw Productions. You guys do really good work. You do great work. If you guys are looking to give another, auteur a chance, call me. Justin Tipping, you got a movie made. I think what's so hard for me is I'll be straight up. I did not like this movie, but I knew I wasn't going to like it from the trailer. And I have been having an aversion to, Shahir said it best. I've been saying this a lot recently, style over substance, which is like, if what you're selling me is the visual look of this movie and not what the story is, I know I'm going to be bored very fast. Also, as a director, it's like, I know I can come up with really beautiful shots, but I also know as beautiful a shot that I can come up with, or like the framing, the mise en scène, or whatever the hell you want to say if you're like stuffy, I know my cinematographer is doing a lot of the work. I know like he or she is framing that shot, lighting that shot, giving me like, hey, maybe we do it like this. It's a lot of them. And this movie's trailer, because I actually watched this trailer and then went back to watch Get Out, and I realized when you watch the Get Out trailer, it is selling you a story. It is like this black dude.
Yeah.
Because think about it. No one in Get Out was famous. Jordan Peele was the sketch guy. You know what I mean? But I remember when that trailer came out, it was such a big deal. But when I watched this, I feel bad for Justin, the director, because I think unfortunately to help get butts in seats, they kept hammering Jordan Peele produced it. It doesn't look like Jordan Peele, but it looks close enough. I feel like anytime there's a black horror movie now, it looks Jordan Peele-esque. It's like at one point, if it was a black drama, they all look like Moonlight. It's like,
sure.
That's what we're in right now. And I feel like the thing that Jordan Peele does very well, whether it's Us, whether it's Get Out, is like there is heavy social commentary. And I think with this movie, you know, I fortunately read the original script a while ago, GOAT. It was written for a Tom Brady-esque person. Mm-hmm. And while I love Black people getting their shot, I think this movie would have been better served with white men. Like, I just do. Because I think the thing that hampers this movie is that there is such a... The NFL is such a slavey kind of thing. It's like all the owners are white except for one. And the one ain't Black, you know, for Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, everybody's white. You go to the combine, which is like usually a bunch of old white dudes with clipboards being like, this motherfucker can jump real fast. Look at that one run. It's like, that is what exists today. Yeah. And I think there is something to that. And also I could tell the nuances of this movie. Like they had a couple light-skinned jokes in here. And I'm like, listen, I make fun of light-skinned people.
Half African?
And I was like,
African-American?
Yes. And it was so funny. I remember seeing this movie with James. And one of the jokes, I was like, a Black person ain't write this joke. Because like we make light skin. Because the thing is, if you make a light skin joke, it's usually when a light skinned person does something. It's stereotypical, but like they do something what people would deem soft. You know what I mean? So you're not just gonna be like he didn't do anything. Like he didn't do anything to justify the light skin jokes besides just being in the movie. And it's hard because even when you got to the end of the movie, nothing before it justified the ending of it. And the thing is, it was trying to hit on race, but you had two white directors and a non-Black director who don't know the nuance of what it's like to deal with oppression here. You know what I mean?
Is Justin, just for clarification.
He's a person of color, but he's not Black.
Okay, all right.
And the reason I'm very, very specific about it is because in America, racism hits different. The NFL hits different. Like I mean, literally, like we all make fun of Jerry Jones because like you look at this old white dude who won't retire, who like has all these Black players. You look at when it comes to they just didn't touch on it. And I'm like, hey, if you couldn't do it, just leave it alone, baby. Like I'm a man. I could want to make a movie about feminist rights and stuff like that. But if I don't have somebody with me, like if I don't have a female write this movie and on set, Steven Spielberg, when he did The Color Purple, had Black people there. Like he was like, I'm not built for this. Be on set, you know, the nuance. Hey, bro, we wouldn't do it that way. Like, yeah. So I think that's one thing that hurt this movie. I agree with Shahir again, where I'm like, Marlon was killing it, bro. Like Marlon
is a terrific screen presence.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Even Tyreek. I thought Tyreek for what his character was given. I mean,
which was not much.
Yeah,
it wasn't. He was only given things to react to, and I guess at the end he was given something to do, but it wasn't justified.
Yeah.
But again, that's my initial response. I think there's certain things we had talk about as we talk about the movie that would have made this movie better. Like there's one line in this movie that I thought was going to be what the movie was about, and excuse me if you I've said this like on my podcast and like on Twitter, but like when Marlon says, "I will make a wager with you. I bet if you hit it, I give you everything. Money, power, all other stuff. If you lose it, I get your youth." And he was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." And I'm like, give me that movie. That's the movie.
I think they kind of tried towards the end, but
kinda.
But the problem with the movie, beyond the sort of like lack of social commentary or the lack of effectiveness of the social commentary, is that the story structure is all set up with very little payoff. And when payoff comes, when there are moments of payoff, they really don't pay off because we are not emotionally invested in much of what's going on here. There's so much sort of, you know, in the classic Secret Society kind of movie way, so much sort of setup here of, you know, certain mysteries, like for example, the fans at the gate, the actual property itself, which is the sort of this brutalist architecture, you know, like looming sort of long, strange field in the back, you know, across the desert. The injections that he's being provided, the actual sort of mechanics of the sort of hero worship and the punishment the players are willing to take for this sort of proposed training program. The actual training program itself, and then the final sort of reveal of what's actually happening, it all doesn't really connect in a way that sort of makes sense. For example, and then, like if we use a film like Get Out as an example, Get Out has an extremely striking visual conceit, which is, what was the thing? The void,
the sunken place.
The sunken place, yeah. And the visual for the sunken place is amazing. And it's like one extraordinary visual within a very, very good looking movie, but like one surreal moment that like really sticks out at you.
Yeah.
And sort of in a sort of opposite way, him has extraordinary visual one after the other, but they actually don't resonate because there's no story to it that actually that you can latch onto and that you can feel like, oh wow, this is transforming what I'm seeing and actually compounding it together. The Substance is a really good example of that as well.
The thing that I had two thoughts while watching this movie. It was, what if The Devil's Advocate, the film The Devil's Advocate,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
But a D&D campaign where the DM has no idea where they want to go. Like, it feels like they set up so many interesting like plot hooks that they don't do anything with, and they move on to the next one, almost to the point where I was like, is every day, because it breaks it into chapters of like the days, right?
Yeah.
Is every day a different kind of oddity? Like, oh, is it here where like you said, Gerard, like the one where it's like, oh, you make a bet, we'll do the thing for the youth. I was like, oh, is he going to steal his youth? But then the next day is like about like lust or something, and the next day is about murder. Like, are they trying to like do anything with this? And at the end of me watching it, I don't think they were. I just think they had a lot of neat ideas that they wanted to throw at the wall. And maybe there is, I mean, again, as we've said many times, the podcast has said it today, making any movie and getting across the finish line is a fucking miracle. But it feels like this was I want to make as many of these cool ideas as possible, and at the end, we'll tie it together with some real loose devil shit. There's so many films that have done tighter, more honest. Again, Devil's Advocate,
fantastic.
It's a fantastic movie. Also, all fairly schlocky too, but like it actually functions and really like push. Like, I don't know. That always feels very complete to me.
I think what happens is that again, it could have been a lot of studio notes, because a lot of things are set up that are just left. A lot of really good quotes are just out there. Like, when Marlon goes, if you're a prisoner and they offer you food or freedom, which one are you going to take? Or something. It's like, what is that? What is that? Why is that relevant right now?
Yeah.
I think what's difficult about this movie is that at the core, Tariq's character, unfortunately, has no agency whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, not only does he have no agency, but my thing is, Crow, you brought up The Devil's Advocate. What is very interesting about that movie is that Keanu is tested at every point in that movie. Yeah. At every point, something is happening where you're like, hey, bro, don't do it. Don't do it. And then also, to be truthfully honest, is like Marlon's acting, and this is a compliment. I truly compliment. His acting almost is too good at a fault to me, because he comes off so charismatic, like something is behind the eyes, but he doesn't do anything until the last 20 minutes that is ever threatening to Tariq's character. Like, at least not that we see openly. Like, for the most part, he he makes him strip naked, he makes him do the passes, which is weird because the other dude gets hit, but he's not hitting the other dude. He's not threatening Tariq. Like, the only time he truly threatens Tariq is when he's like, did you have sex with my wife? Which, to be truthfully honest, we haven't even established that he would truly care, because we ain't really seen them in a scene together. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't even seen him in a scene. Like,
he hasn't been.
Different.
There actually is not many scenes with him and Julia Fox together, right?
No. Also, what's so funny about the NFL in particular is that, again, I think if this movie would have had, I don't think it's on the actors. I really don't. But I think if one of these three creatives were black, I think you would have known, for instance, when Tariq, was being drafted, the biggest joke is that a lot of these black athletes, when they're in college, is always a random white girl as their girlfriend, and the mom is like, "You better sit your little ass down." Like there's a joke to that. Like there's a temptation that like if you're an NFL athlete, there's a white woman somewhere. I thought the movie was gonna play into that, and I think, oh, Julia Fox, she's gonna do the thing. And I get like I don't understand what she was supposed to be, but I think you guys are right. So many things are just left in the air. Like what's unfortunate, I have been watching movies for so long and now writing them that I can tell within the first 5 minutes whether or not I would like a movie. And I knew in the opening of this movie I wasn't gonna like it. Like I knew the opening scene when I'm watching that little kid, and Marlon gets hurt, and then we cut. Literally, the screen is faded the entire time. We do a one push in, and it's Marlon with his freaking knee bone hanging out, and I'm like, guys, what football? What is this? And then to have the kid look away and the dad turn his head back to be like, this is what men do. This is what men do. I'm like, okay, maybe there's gonna be a point in this movie where he gets like a crazy injury in that way and has to like do a thing to prove himself to Marlon or whoever, and it doesn't happen. So I'm like, this scene just shows a very toxic dad, which is cartoonishly toxic. You know what I mean? Like cartoonishly toxic. We don't really
see the and more than that. I mean, while there is kind of a situation at the end where is it Cam?
What is his name actually? You're right.
Yeah, sorry, I went blank on it just for a second. Where Cam's arm is broken. And he needs to fight his way out of the situation, you know, yada, yada, yada. It does, you know, the problem is the father relationship doesn't feel like it has catharsis within the movie. You know, like it feels like it is just like this thing that's like, oh, and your dad was behind all of this. And not to reveal spoilers for the end of it.
No, but like on that point, it leaves a bunch of breadcrumbs to make you be like, oh, is this what the movie's about?
Yeah.
So, is it about toxic masculinity and being forced into things by your father? Okay, it is, but that doesn't feel like it's the point. Okay, is it about the various injuries that we put NFL players through and like the fact that they give their entire bodies and health to this game to be the best like no one ever was? Pokemon joke aside, that it's like, oh, neat, that could be it. Nope, not really. Okay, wait. Is it about like avarice? Is it about like just sort of the when you get to a certain level, that the vices and the things that can get in your way and like that sort of overtake you and that is a distraction and you become something other than who you actually are? Well, yeah, it's kind of like that until it's not. Wait, but then it's also a cult. So it's a cult now and there's a devil. And you're working, but the devil was with other, so it's a generational cult devil thing. Okay. And then it kind of ties that up at the end, but also doesn't really. Like, I kept being
they don't
like,
even touch the cult. They don't even touch on the cult. Like, there's a famous, I think of two things, Crow, that you reminded me of. I think it does better. There's a famous photo of LeBron James, who is in the NBA, but a famous photo when he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think it was the season they won the championship. And it's like they won, I think they were making it to the finals or something like that. And LeBron was playing his ass off. And the photo is of all the other players popping champagne and LeBron sitting on a chair covered in like ice bags and like other stuff to physically keep his body going. In my mind, I'm like, okay, the movie's going to address, you know, Marlon's need to win or even Cam's need to, if you think about Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash is a great example.
Whiplash, he is playing those drums till he bleeds. Whiplash, he gets into a car accident, bleeding, runs with damn near a concussion to play and can barely hold the damn. That's obsession. Cam doesn't get that obsession. And the thing is, if the point of this movie is to say this was forced upon him, he never really wanted it, then he never would have fought Marlon. He would have been like, hey, bro, you got it. This ain't even worth it. You know what I mean? Like,
and
I'm good.
It leads to the fight at the end, right? But does it lead to the fight at the end or do they just fight at the end? Like, there's no hint in it that this training, like they kind of do an exposition thing about the various blood and then there's some exposition in there little in the Coliseum where he's just looking at like the fans in the ceiling or like whatever is being projected there. About like the transition of power and sort of like the test and the even playing field and like all this shit.
It's like
but
Phantom meets the vampires or something like that. It was like
Yeah,
they
like,
transfuse
it doesn't-
blood. I'm not sure. Okay.
It doesn't like nothing. There's been no hint that he has been prepping him. It's just like, oh, we're doing this twist now. And I'm like, oh, so now they're going to fight. And I guess, Jirah, you said you read the original script back when it was called GOAT. There was a different ending, right? Like it was like.
They kind of have a happier ending. Like the whole action scene thing at the end isn't there. I think Marlon, like the original ending, Marlon like retires. I think it's like, I think he just retires or something like that. And what I think is so interesting about this, and I think, and again, I do think that's because that character was white. Like, I think it was supposed to be like a Tom Brady. I think it's different when that character is white because, no offense, you don't have to have the history of the oppression, the ownership that this movie now has to have with two black dudes. Also, my thing about it is, if this movie is setting it up where like they can only be one GOAT, Marlon is in real life aging out. He can still play, but he's aging out. If he would have won, then what does he do? He runs out and plays until he's 55?
Yeah.
Like the conceit, I think, even though they do not say this, I go on that line you said, Jirah, like if I win, I get your youth. And I was like, oh, neat. That would be neat. Maybe that's a thing. They don't touch that. Maybe that's what would happen.
Imagine the fans the next season being like, what has happened to
like how like
why does he look so good?
Hey man, he look younger? Like that's insane.
Is he playing like he's 20 years old? Like, is anyone else noticing this?
Like I think about it all the time because people are playing older now. Like, you know, Tom Brady played for a long time, but you saw his game change. And my thing about this movie again is like, what are we saying? Like, because this kid idolized Marlon so much, you didn't need to hit him in the head to get him to the place. Like I am a person who wants to act and direct. If you told me right now, hey, Christopher Nolan wants to meet you and Denzel's there too, I will pay my ticket to fly there. You don't have to knock me in the head to get there. Like I want to do it.
Well, hang on.
So
now,
I think
just so we're clear, the knock in the head, is that part of the scheme, or did that just happen?
Because the manager
it's so
did
loosely connected.
The manager did it in the GOAT costume.
Yeah, the agent did it because he said at the end they did it to like get. It was to get him there because basically it was almost like this is me trying to write the story. Is they did it because he would probably be, and this is me assuming, he would probably be too messed up to do the combine, which was the very next day.
Yeah. No, I think sorry, just the thing that I took from it was they were trying to mirror what happened to Isaiah. So Isaiah had a crippling injury that brought him into the place where he became part of the cult and part of the to become the GOAT. Sure. So they have to injure the person and bring and build them back at this fucking temple or whatever that they're at. That's how I took it.
Crow,
but who the fuck knows?
They don't talk when he gets there. They barely talk about his head. Mm-hmm. It'd be different if it'd be different. Like for me, it'd be different is when he's going through these drills. He is fucking up. Like it'd be different. Like when he's doing these pass drills, I'm talking about like we keep seeing maybe like I loved when we saw the cut get deeper when he got hit.
Yeah.
Like show us warp his like he's not good or something. And then
I thought that was also going to be something. Oh, is this a thing about brain injuries? Is this going to be a thing like the weirder this gets? Is this going to be from his brain injury? Like, no, it's just weird and it's a cult. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate that the movie plays that way. And I think that really comes down to a scripting level where the sort of breadcrumb, you know, like the way that these films kind of typically play out, you know, take Midsommar, for example, is that there are breadcrumbs led all the way through that eventually lead you to what the grand conspiracy is. The Wicker Man is the same way. Get Out is the same way. You know, like all these movies kind of have that sort of little breadcrumb that eventually leads you to the big piece. And this was a case where the breadcrumbs were like, from a different loaf of bread, or you know, like you were like, oh wait,
there were 9 loaves of bread.
There were 9 different loaves of bread, and they're all sort of like taste a little different, and they don't kind of add up. Mm-hmm. The other side of this was that, you know, we mentioned Whiplash in here as well. I was joking with my wife that like Him was the sequel to Her, but I was like, I think if women watched him, and as they would, they'd be like, "Men, are you guys good? Because you don't seem it." Like there's just a lot of like the masculinity in this is like very Lord of the Flies meets the Last Boy Scout for some reason, and it like it you're just sort of like, oh, is this what dudes think? Athleticism, or like, because it is this sort of like, it also doesn't feel embedded in the actual world of like physical football training, which is punishing and really like repetitive, and it is about like the strain on the body that goes on over and over and over again that you have to like sort of accept. And Whiplash is a really good example where you kind of see like the point that he's trying to explain there. I think it's with Coltrane, or I can't remember the drummer that he's referencing, but he's like, this is the timing needs to be so exact and precise that if it's a beat off, then you will not be one of the greatest. And if your thumbs don't, if your fingers don't bleed when you're drumming, then you're not doing the thing. And I feel like this movie is like, again, sort of that, in a way, a creative director's kind of like approach to the storytelling of this world, like it is like, oh, what's the commercial version of this? And it is really unfortunate because the commercial version of it is also really pretty. It is really, really pretty. And it is very, very well designed. And I think that's the thing that's also really striking about it, is that, harkens me back to Tarsim's film, The Cell, is that it is a really striking looking movie. And it clearly is made by someone who has vision for how these things can be interesting, at least, but it is not fulfilling any way to connect that vision to a resonant storyline in any way. Like I literally walked out of this movie kind of going, that certainly happened. It certainly, there was certainly an hour and a half of stuff that happened in front of me.
Which is unfortunate because I think this is a really good opportunity, and I would like to think that Justin had a lot of studio notes. So I'm blaming the studio. I would like to think he had a lot of studio notes and people who wanted certain things, because at the end of the day, like for instance, again, like, if you think about He Got Game when he goes to that college, what they're like, what's here? Because I knew going into this movie is going to be a scene where he's tempted by women, because he talks about how much he loves his girlfriend.
I didn't understand that scene in this movie. It happened, and I was like, I didn't understand what just happened.
It made no sense. And the thing about it is like, at no point did he have a bunch of interactions with Julia Fox to make it like, yo, stay away from her. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't see enough scenes with her with Marlon Wayans to be like, this is his prize dog, don't go near her. There was no threat. And then when he goes and he's just by himself watching everybody naked dancing, and it cuts to the next morning and he didn't do anything, I was like, I was like, when Marlon showed up in that fucking, first off, fire robe with the hoodie and the gun, I'm like, oh, we're in it. Now the turn is here.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
I didn't do it. Spring Breakers moment after that as well.
Yeah. A good monologue.
Yeah.
But the kid didn't do it. And then Marlon ends it with, you'll never make it if you can't lie to your girlfriend or something like that. Yeah. I've never seen Marlon lie to his girlfriend.
Yeah. Like, also, on that note, every sort of lesson or temptation or anything in this movie, it's still like, I think this movie is obsessed with you liking Cam. Like they never move Cam in a position to make Cam tempted or unlikable at all. Cam is always like, even to the point where they, on day 5 or whatever, and they're at the shooting range and they drag someone out in a costume that is someone that's supposed to be.
There's a scene from the trailer. I watched the trailer afterwards, and there's a scene from the trailer where I think, like, he may have had a hallucination that it was him inside the costume, because that seems to be happening in the trailer. Okay, and then there was like a sort of another implication that one of the people that he killed the night before, one of the fans who crawl into his house spider-like they're in The Exorcist for no apparent reason. They might have been one of the people inside the costumes.
Yeah, like Cam kills a guy or a person.
He has no effect though. It doesn't
matter.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, well, that
Nothing
happened.
matters.
Yeah, and it was just a fan. And I was like, well, okay.
But also,
that's
we
cool.
never addressed anything. Also, can we talk about the fan real quick?
Yeah.
My thing is, I love the idea of toxic fandom.
Is it a conversation about toxic fandom?
Yes.
Is that going to be it?
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, and this is so frustrating about it. Is like, coming from, and Crow, I'm pretty sure you can experience it, like coming from a place of like loving comics and things like that.
Yeah.
Comic fans are horrible to an extent. Like they can be evil people. Like I think about how often, oh my God. Think about John Boyega. When John Boyega got Star Wars, the amount of hate he had. And he was like, Disney did not help him. When that happens, when Haley Bailey got Little Mermaid, what she got, there's so many examples of like, oh, we don't want this, because you made him black. We don't want this black dude to be the face of this company, this football. But it doesn't make sense because they already had one. So why doesn't she want him? Because already they've established he is the best. They called this kid the GOAT already. But why doesn't she?
I think the film doesn't really address race in that way, except for the final sequence where it kind of tries to just sort of like lay out the idea that the difference between owners and players is very markedly denoted by race. But I don't get the impression that the fan didn't want him because he was black. I think they didn't want him because they didn't want a replacement for Marlon Wayans' character. Like that's the way I read that.
Then if that's the case, and I hate to be this studio person, that woman needs to say that. or when she first off, how the hell they get in the house? How they get in the house?
She's inside the sauna, like just hanging out underneath the the bench.
But
And
also
then she leaves and comes back.
bro. But this is my thing. If that's the case, Shahir, then I think when Marlon
and I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying
No.
that I think the way that the film is dealing with race is only played at the end of the movie when it's when he meets the owners.
See, no, I agree, but I think that's a part of my problem. Like, if you're going to do this and you're going to take that big swing at the end, you got to talk about it throughout the whole thing. Besides Marlon making a light skin joke,
it's not there really.
And then, for instance, I like the idea that she does not want to see Marlon replaced. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, it's like, if that's the case, when Marlon shows up after, like, she attempts to kill Cam, she should be crying. Like, she should be like,
it's meeting the face of God. Yeah.
In awe. And then like she could even hurt her own self. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't even got to do it. Like, there's something about like
that would be an interesting thing because that matches the actual training practice as well.
If Marlon goes, you love me, kill yourself. Mm-hmm. And then she does it. Mm-hmm. Then she does it. Like, I think this.
Instead, Superman throws her across the room and cracks her into the wall. Like, I was like, whoa,
bro. And then he's like, I'm gonna just watch it. I just think this movie had so much promise. I think they set up so many cool things. Like you brought up, both of you brought up Substance. There are certain moments in the Substance where like the visuals add so much. Like when Demi Moore is in the bathroom, she's in the bathroom. She has to use the men's bathroom. And then Dennis Quaid comes in and he has that really close shot with his eye. And he's just talking shit about her. And you realize at that point, everything he said about her, it is intense and it's everything she was thinking in her head. But now someone said it out loud. And it has drastically changed everything she's going to do from this movie. There was no point in this movie that Cam was given an ultimatum. He wasn't given the red or blue pill at any point and been like, hey, which one you picking, bro? Like, it wasn't even listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry, y'all.
You've been lying this whole time?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, okay? If you telling me right now, I've been away, I'm not saying I would do it. I'm not saying I would do it. I
don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm just saying I wouldn't say I would do it. But if you're telling me I've been away from my lady for a long time, I got Julia Fox and her badass assistant take me in a dungeon with a bunch of other badass women. I'm going to be, you're going to see me sweating bullets, bro. You're going to see me sweating. You're going to see my fist clenched like I'm a good boy.
I think you should put that on your dating profile now.
I'm just saying. I'm going to be a good
You'll
man.
see me. If Julia Fox comes at me, I'm going to be sweating bullets.
No,
that should be the byline in your
It wasn't
Tinder
just
profile
Julia.
right now.
It was the
Julia
assistant
Fox
too.
is my kryptonite.
The assistant was
me
in
and
it.
Kanye.
Yeah. And this is my thing. But this is my thing though, Shahir, is that like you didn't test any. My thing is, you should have saw a shot of him being like, "Oh my god," like something.
Well, you mentioned the scene, Ray Allen in He Got Game. Like, you know, he has that sequence where he goes to play college. He goes to that college and he goes to the dorm room, and there are suddenly, I think, 2 porn stars in the and then there's just like this montage where his head's stuck in between them. Yep. And it's like, and then like after that, he has to go back and see Lala, you know, and like basically be like, well, you know, it kind of happened.
It was, you know, it was a good time.
That's,
it was, you know.
And that is the sort of strength of storytelling that we're sort of talking about here, which is that like, that is a moment where you're like, oh, am I with this guy? You know, like, do I believe in his journey at this point? Agreed. Or am I interested in like his downfall? Or am I interested in like the sort of nuanced middle ground of this?
I think this movie is too concerned with making sure that you always kind of are on Cam's side, that it never puts him in any situation that is remotely interesting for him.
And then unfortunately you get to the end and you're like, am I on Cam's side on this? Like, I don't even know what's happening here. Or how he got to this moment.
Yeah, why was he killing everybody?
I am a sucker for a war pick. Yeah. That's the weapon that he got hit in the head with, and that's the weapon he uses at the end there. It's basically like it's that hammer that has the hammer on one side and the spike on the other.
Sure.
Brutal weapon. But he just decides to essentially murder everybody. Like they do not set Cam up to be a killer.
No.
Like he even freaks out when he hurts the woman who has tried to kill him, and then Marlon Wayans, Isaiah, kills her, right? And then he shoots someone, but you're not sure if he knows that there's someone in there. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, after he fights, and I was like, this is what I was hoping, because I knew there was going to be some sort of scene like that. I was hoping that there would be an analogy between like the blood infusions and having to beat Isaiah, and in that moment, in that battle, his brain injury got even worse and made him more violent, or like something happened with that.
You could argue that they kind of are seeding that with Jim Jeffries' character, the doctor, kind of saying, you'll thank me later, as he's injecting him with this. Yeah. But you're not really clear on what he was injecting him with.
Yeah, what did he inject him with?
The blood?
It's the blood that's also been passed. Like the ritual, which is again is poorly fucking explained, is every person who's the goat who then moves down to the next person who comes up is taking the previous person's blood through infusions, because it's supposed to be magic demon blood of him.
Or just a really powerful venereal disease or something like that.
So Jim Jeffries is giving him, he's giving him the blood early? Is that?
Yeah, of Isaiah. And the reason that they hint at as to why is because they're trying to prep Cam to be like the exact equal as Isaiah. So Isaiah has magic demon blood. They're giving Cam magic demon blood. So in their final confrontation, there is an even playing field. Even though, to your point, Jarrah, Isaiah is aging out. What's going to happen if Isaiah wins?
Yeah. And also, doesn't Isaiah at the end give him the blood anyway? He's like, you have my blood rolling through you right now. So isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's in on it. That's his plot. He wants to, in my opinion, Isaiah wants to give Cam the blood to make the final fight even, to prove that Isaiah can still win the fight and still be the GOAT.
Also, how did he lose that fight?
I actually don't know.
I don't know. Because he's old. He's old. I don't know.
But it's so interesting because I was watching the fight and I was like, listen, bro. It was so funny is I remember watching these movies. It was like I've been watching like old like martial art movies, and like people always fuck with the old dude, but then with a lot of times what the fighters forget is that the old dude may not move fast, but if they get you in a tight space, they're experienced and they're fucking sturdy. Like literally like the speed turns into like fucking solidness. And I'm looking at this fight and Marlon is winning almost the entire time. And I don't like, I don't
even remember.
I
do remember this. I remember clocking this because I was like, oh, Marlon's fucking whooping him. Mm-hmm. Is there going to be a moment where he stops and lets Cam win? Because that's what I thought. Interesting.
That's what I thought.
That's interesting.
That's what I thought.
But again, that does not happen. The fight just turns and he loses.
Also the finale when he actually comes out to sign the contract and ends up murdering the everybody, the management team, is also accompanied by cheerleaders who don't seem to be phased by the way this ritual goes.
They never move.
They're just like, oh wait, we're murdering him now? Sweet. I'm getting paid either way.
Yeah. And then the end with his manager getting dragged to the circle.
Is it Tim Heidecker as well? Yeah. Was the manager?
Is supposed to be essentially no, Tim Heidecker. Oh, maybe Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Heidecker is basically dragged to the circle, which is supposed to be a sacrifice or may make the deal, but because a contract wasn't signed, he then just explodes instead. And you're like,
so how does he get dragged?
So it's ready. Like, it's ready or not.
How
like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Like, who drags him?
I also don't know why they murdered. I also don't know why they murdered Jim Jeffries in this. You know, like why is
he was a sacrifice for some reason? Again, the interesting concept: the sacrifices of all the people for great people. You could do something with that. You could take that and run with it and make it interesting.
He has a great line where he's like, I don't even see my kids anymore or anything like that. And he's like, oh, you got kids? He goes, no, I don't have kids, but if I did, this would suck.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. But also, I just want to shout out Jim Jeffries as well. I'm a big fan of his comedy and have gone to see live shows with him. So it was actually fun to watch him in this as well.
Why did he? Well, yeah, one, he was beheaded, which is wild and so unnecessary.
And he seemed to know it was going to happen. Like,
like very weird. But also, why did he kill everybody at the end? Like,
I don't know. This is the thing. Like I said, it's kind of like it's going to be like popping a balloon at some point. Which is like it's going to be a futile exercise trying to actually connect the dots.
I don't think there is a cohesive reason why most things happen in this movie. I think they had a lot of ideas for allegories for various things. The toxicity of being the best at a field. The negative effects of football and the injuries that the players sustain, toxic masculinity and the ability of a father to sort of shape their son into a not the best direction, hero worship and never meeting your heroes, what happens when you dedicate your entire life to one human being a super fan. I think it has all of they have all of these things they want to talk about. But because there's no through line, they mention the thing and in an obtuse way, and then the 9 mystery boxes they set up don't actually pay off. So what do we do at the end? We have a slaughter fest with a war pick because why not? And it sucks because again, I feel like I've shit on this movie a lot. I think there is it tiptoes around so many interesting concepts and looks really beautiful doing it. Mm-hmm. But there's no it just doesn't click. There's no sheer, again, to your point, it's style over substance. And the style got me in the door. Mm-hmm. And I really, really wish that there was substance to sort of keep me there and keep me sort of invested in what was going on. I guess that's my final thought.
Yeah.
I am just so over style. Like, I love a good stylish movie. I truly do. But now I'm just like, unless you're creating a new world I haven't seen, unless you're Tim Burton and you're giving me like old school Tim Burton, like this is a whole different look. I'm like, bro, make sure the story is there. Cause I'm just like, it feels rude.
Unfortunately, I was, we discussed the film Opus on our Sundance vlogs as well. And it was a film that just felt really familiar in terms of what it was trying to do and, what had come before it. and this was not quite as familiar. You know, I was like, oh, maybe there's something interesting here. But ultimately kind of lands in a place where it's like, in a way, less coherent than Opus was. And Opus wasn't, you know, kind of just gets to sort of a fairly uninteresting place. So it's a real shame. Again, I like, just, you know, I like the production design of this movie. I like the overall aesthetic of this movie. I don't think it's serving whatever the movie is trying to do. And it's the same with Marlon Wayans in this, which is like Marlon Wayans is really bringing it and is a great demonstration of what he can do. It's not really serving the movie in sort of any meaningful way other than just being a great showcase for it itself. So it's like you kind of want to cannibalize this movie a little bit and just be like, I want to extract out the production design, the cinematography, some of the visual effects work, you know, the infrared thing. I don't know if either of you guys saw it. There was a Harmony Korine film that actually had this whole that style for the entire movie. It was called Aggro Drift, and it was like a heist. It was like a sort of.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. It was like a heist sort of violent movie where they did the whole thing like that, and I was like, oh, this actually would be kind of overwhelming, and it's used really sparingly here in a really cool way. You want to sort of like itch out little pieces of the direction, itch out little pieces of performance and dialogue, but like. There's no body for this to like all latch onto in the sort of profound way that Get Out does, but even in the sort of simple way that, you know, Opus kind of does. And, you know, like it's a bit of a shame like that. I oddly, I've sort of heard similar rumblings about Kogonada's film, The Big Beautiful Life. Is what it's called.
I've heard it did not do well.
It did not do well at all, and it's sort of like similar rumblings about it, but perhaps a little bit more earnest. So you know, it's just one of those unfortunate things. We'll see where tipping goes from here, and we also did Weapons on the podcast a little while ago, and we talked about the fact that Jordan Peele really wanted Weapons to be brought into the Monkey Paw Studios and like be worked on there, and you can kind of see why. 100%. You know, like that would be a film that really works that way, and in an odd way, him feels like second prize. Mm-hmm. And you know, maybe even third prize in that sort of in like, okay, what's the next movie we can bring in here? And it's like it feels that way as well when you watch it.
100%.
Yeah,
it feels like, I mean, he fired his team after that.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah. I don't know. I always like temper that with like, we don't know how much of this is actual PR or not, but it's like, it's a cool story.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Gerard, give us your final thought on him.
I think I struggle with him because, again, I will say this. Okay, now I'm thinking about it. I respect this movie for taking a big swing. Like, I think it is very hard to be a movie that people love. But I also think it's something about being a very polarizing movie as well. Because I think like a lot of people, for whatever reason, you know, not a lot of people. I think some people came out of this very disappointed. But I think a lot of people have visceral reasons why. Like we talked about this and it's like there's reasons why we don't like it.
Yeah.
And that says enough. It's like this person, he took swings, you know, he tried to have these moments and, you know, maybe if there's a director's cut, it'll be a different movie. But I do respect that it got made. I think I appreciate the fact that they took a lot of chances on new people. Like I know a guy in the movie. It's cool to see him in there. Again, Marlon Wayans is so funny because here you brought it up. He's been doing all those like parody movies, but those are movies he makes.
He makes, yeah.
He makes those movies.
And it's just that this movie reminds you, I was like, oh man, why haven't we made that guy a movie star? Because he fucking rules.
But it's something about that where it's like, we don't have that many and it takes a person. It honestly, when I think about like the resurgence of, like I think about like Keke Palmer, for instance. Like Keke Palmer has been around for so long. People started taking Keke Palmer serious because of Nope. You know, she was in a Jordan Peele movie. Daniel Kaluuya was like working, you know, he was in stuff. No one gave a shit until he was in Get Out. Like I think Jordan Peele has done something, and he always says that his movies will always have a black lead, and I think he is the only person doing it. Like I just watched this interview. Like it's been two old interviews that keeps popping up. One is with Lee Daniels, for the showrunners, and one is with Steve McQueen, the director's one.
Yeah.
And they asked, I mean, you probably seen this year. Yeah. They asked Steve McQueen, like, why aren't there like black actors leading so many movies? And he looks around the room and it's like Soderbergh, it's like Spike Jonze. And he literally goes, why don't you ask them? And he's like, they don't do it. And someone said that to me, is like, a lot of people I idolize don't include black men, period. Like, there's certain directors I to the end of the day, I would give anything to work with them, but you look at it, they don't have them in their movies unless it's a movie about their skin color. And so the fact that this movie exists, the fact that they, it may not have worked out, they made this switch from white characters to black ones, it gave a lot of people a shot. It gave the family at the beginning of the movie, like, I don't know two of those, the girlfriend or the brother, but people I know them, and they had screenings, and that was their first credit. Like, a guy I did a short film with, he's the dickish light-skinned dude who keeps fucking with Tyreek in the thing. So I give it props for that. Storytelling wise, we can't. You know what it is? It's good to have black movies enough that we can critique.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. That makes total sense.
So yeah.
Well,
look at that. Silver lining.
Silver lining. This has been the only podcast about the film Him. Gerard, thank you so much for coming on back.
Thank y'all for having me. And don't worry, I'm gonna talk to. I already sent a text message. You know what I mean? It's going to get.
Show.
Oh,
wait, what do you mean you got to talk to management?
It's three of them. It's three of them. The thing is,
I think I talk to Matt when I want to bring someone on.
We talk to each other.
Let me tell you what's so funny is I have so little power. I've been trying to quit our podcast for years.
Come over to us. Come over to the dark side.
Listen, y'all get to do popular movies, and I'm like, guys, I have been confronted more times than not. I've been confronted by friends when I said that their performance was good, but the movie wasn't my favorite. And it's happened to me enough times now where I'm like, guys, this may come to bite me in the ass.
Right. But you know what though? And look, I like what you said at the beginning, Gerard. Like, we make art, yes, because we want to do it and we want to put something out in the world. But I think it's because you want people to experience it. And while we would prefer that people like what we do, it is always, anything we put out there is literally inviting critique.
Yeah.
I know I've been guilty of not taking critique well on various things. I think maybe all of us have at certain points, but when you kind of take a step back, like, if I am doing something, and if I'm in a film or whatever, and the thing is not great, but I'm okay, or like whatever, like, I kind of want to hear the opinions on that. I don't want people to be like mean about it, but like, I want honesty there, and I hope that there's still people that find value in that, even throughout the circles of like reviewing movies while you're making movies. Mm-hmm. Like, I
don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm perfect, and everything I do is great.
Well, there we go. Gerard, where can folks find all the wonderful things you do about the podcast you're trying to leave?
Oh my goodness. You can find they hate when I do other podcasts. I'm terrible at promotion. You can follow at Black Men Can't Jump on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find us on Spotify every Thursday. I believe our episodes come out. Yep. And then you can follow me personally at Gerard Milligan on Twitter and Instagram. And again, please, if you're in New York, we even have a live stream, the New York Comedy Festival, my solo show, But Did You Die? Sunday, November 9th at 7 p.m. at the UCB Theater. It's going to be fun. I got a DJ, and who knows? Maybe I do cut my locks on stage. You only know when you show up. Bang, bang, boom.
If you need someone to do it, I'm here. I'm your guy.
No.
Are you?
No. Yeah, you look.
Shahir,
your hands look a little shaky.
Shahir, when you are not vastly underqualified to cut Gerard's hair, where can folks find you?
You can find me at my barbershop, Shahir Cuts Heads, at my website, www.suvanova.com. That's SUVANOVA.com. Matt, when you are taking us all out for blood milkshakes. I don't know. Where can people find you?
There's literally no milk in this film. You can find me hunting down that in the fridge over at my website, Extra History and Extra Credits, on the YouTube machines. I believe by the time this comes out, we will have 2 of our 3 episodes on the history of American mass deportation. Important history. Do not sleep on that. What was once done will keep happening again if we do not fucking learn from this shit. Also, we just did one on the economic history of Japan, which is actually quite fascinating, tied to the Cyberpunk Legends card game. James did a bunch of research when he was researching Zaibatsu and Kiritsu, the sort of family business structures of things over there up until the 90s and whatnot. So that's very interesting. Also, I have a show. I'm not supposed to say it because it's not announced yet. But if you happen to want to check out a specific recording of Abolish Everything at the Caveat Theater in New York City on October 24th, if you go to the 10 p.m. show, you might see someone doing the thing on stage.
Is it me cutting your hair? Like, am I just cutting hair wherever I go?
You need to cut my hair.
No, don't give him the scissors. He gets no clippers. No clippers. No, you gotta open letters by hand now. No,
that's
you can't
Spike
use a
Lee's
blade.
student film was something, I think it was called Joe's Barbershop We Cut Hids or something like that. I think that was a student film that got him an Oscar nomination for a student. That's what all this is based off. It was like a real deep Spike Lee joke.
Okay. Well, Jerah, again, thank you for coming on back. Please, you're welcome anytime.
Thank y'all for having me, man. Appreciate it.
And we will talk at you all next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.